I'm going to share a personal leadership story with you today. It was about 20 years ago and my first leadership role, and it was a supervisory sales role. I was promoted into a team where I had been a team member, and there were some new people on board, and I was a really high performing salesperson. I loved sales, I loved my clients, and I was really enjoying the work. And I made the assumption, and my manager made the assumption, and the company made the assumption, that as a high-performing salesperson, I was going to be a great sales leader. I was convinced. And so I went out and started to work with the team that I was leading. And it was a complete disaster. Out of the 8 people I managed, I was managing at that point, not leading, I had probably 2 people that thought, this is great, this guy is connecting with me, it's working. The other 6 were an absolute disaster. And I lasted in that role around 6 months. And then I was given an option to move across to a key account manager's role, and I jumped at it because I wasn't enjoying it. My team in the main weren't enjoying it. And it was a really, really difficult period. I was looking for other jobs outside of the company, and it kind of really reset me. It was a struggle for quite a period of time. And at that point in time, I did not take full responsibility for the fact that I was the problem. And the reason I was the problem, I look back now and it was so obvious, but I had one style, and that was a fast-paced, do what I do, please do what I say kind of leadership style. And I might have been nice and friendly, but I was putting people under pressure and expecting from them the same level of performance and operation as I expected from myself. As you become a more experienced leader, you realise that isn't how you help people to find their motivation and their performance. You have to respect that people are different, you have to understand how that difference can generate results, and then you play to their strengths. So I had a really difficult period, and thankfully, 6 months later I went into a key account role, started working for another manager. I had a really positive experience in that role, and that manager saw something in me, invested in me, and sent me on a coaching training course. And that was the first time I was exposed to coaching. I had a fantastic transformative experience. It really reignited my passion for wanting to lead people. Thank goodness I found that program. I then went on to read lots and lots of books on leadership, on coaching. I was then given a smaller team to manage. So alongside my key account role, I then took on 2 direct reports. I started to work with those people, practice my coaching skills, develop myself as a leader. And within 2 years, so 18 months, 2 years, I was back into a sales management role, sales leadership role. And this time I was a leader, different industry, different business. And it helped me to completely reset my expectations and my capability as a leader. I was then ready to lead teams. And that first team that I managed, there'll be a lot of people who are on LinkedIn and Facebook. There were about 8, 9 people in that team. They will remember that experience. We had an absolutely fantastic 4 or 5 years. It was outstanding. Still today, one of my highlights of my career, one of the most incredible experiences. That team were fantastic, and they were fantastic because they were all great people. I appreciated they were great people, and what I worked on was being the best leader to that team possible. And it took that experience, the previous experience, to make me realize I needed to do something different. It also helped me to step out of an industry that I was very familiar with. So I had to rely on my leadership skills, my capability through the team, delivering performance through the team. And it was an excellent experience. But I'll tell you this story, not so that you can hear my story, but just to help you to perhaps reflect on your own experiences. If you are a leader in an organization, or you know leaders in an organization who are really high performers at what they had previously done in their specialist role, and they are struggling with leadership, or they're struggling to help their team to see what what good performance looks like, or they're asking their team to do things and they're just not doing it, or they're not getting the results, or they're frustrated, or their team's frustrated, the chances are that you're not adopting the right leadership style in the right situations. And very often a coaching leadership style is optimal for helping your team to see what good performance looks like and how they can get themselves there with your support. It's what I do with a lot of my clients, and I'd be very happy to have a conversation, help you to understand what the difference looks like. And I shared this video because we're going to move into the next video into the topic of coaching. How do you become a coaching manager? But in order to get you to understand first, what does it look like to be a manager that doesn't use coaching? What are the pitfalls? What are the issues? I've been there, I've experienced it. It isn't pleasant. However, what it does do is give you a motivation to change and improve yourself. So I will move into the next video and talk about questioning, and then we'll get to coaching. I just wanted to give you this piece of perspective of my own career, and hopefully that's useful insight for you. Painful but useful insight, and I look forward to speaking to you about questioning on the next video from Focus for Growth.